Hello, everybody. I am your brain on drugs, but at the same time, we're going to talk about episodes, I believe, 4 and 5 of Peacemaker. Not much to complain about, but of course, this is a show called Watch It Complain, so there's of course going to be a couple things to complain about. For me, I will admit the one thing that I don't like about this show so far, and has been every time I've disliked it, is the titles of the episodes. I think they're stupid. They sound like they're written by a 13-year-old boy. That's a chode. Yeah, but it's not. You can do some of that comedy and be funny if it's intelligent enough. And I know James Gunn's intelligent enough to make it funny. They're just not funny. Like Monkey Dory, and I get it because there was a gorilla, but that's stupid. You know, that's smarter than whatever the chode one was. The chode one just made me fucking groan. But that's so far.
Always make me groan.
So far,
what do you guys think?
These titles are dumb.
What do you guys think goes into making a good episode title? Because, like, I've seen. I just want to tell you Yeah, I don't.
I wanted to tell me that too.
Yeah, I thought my brother was talking to me.
But
I was going to say.
Oh, jeez. Now I'm going to put it out.
Yeah. Should I wait a minute and then cut?
Oh, Phil's going to put out. No. For me, a good title. I always like.
No, I'm just playing. It's funny.
I always think a good title comes from either intelligent wordplay or something about the plot of the story.
Yeah,
that you only understand after it. So I was honestly one of those few people that I think the title, The Phantom Menace, is a great fucking title. So many people are like, I hate this title. It's stupid. I'm like, who's the Phantom Menace? Is it fucking Darth Sidious? Is it fucking like it? You never know. And same with the Two Towers. You know, when you read the Two Towers, there's 6 towers in the book. And which 2 towers is he referring to? Yeah. You know, there's like Kira Thungol versus Minas Tirith, and then there's what do you call it? Isengard versus Barad-dûr. So there's all these towers versus each other. So you never know specifically which tower he's talking about, right?
I like Godzilla versus Gong.
I like Captain Soldier Metal Arm.
Oh yeah.
Our go-to ones. But no, I like ones that are. I like intelligent titles where it feels like it wasn't kind of an afterthought. Like, to me, The Force Awakens, I like that. I think it's a cool title because there's been an awakening, like fucking, you know, and I'm not just only Star Wars movies, but like The Undiscovered Country, fucking best name of a Star Trek movie, The Undiscovered Country.
You think so? Because it's unique, right?
But it's from Shakespeare.
Jedi is okay as a title, wouldn't you say?
Which one?
The Last Jedi is a good title as well, or good enough. And then The Rise of Skywalker is just afterthought, terrible title.
That's exactly it. For Last Jedi, I don't know. But I totally agreed on Rise of Skywalker.
Somebody pointed out that this weird Disney thing of, like, because it's Disney, they said that they always went with definite articles. So it's always The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, really? The Rise of Skywalker, even though they could totally take out out of Rise of Skywalker. I don't know why they included it.
Well, what's funny is everybody always forgets there's a V in Empire Strikes Back. Everybody just calls it Empire Strikes Back, right? Instead of
it is The Empire Strikes Back? I thought it was Empire Strikes Back.
No, that's why when everybody cuts it down, they always call it TESB, right? The Empire Strikes Back. But no, a good title is usually like it's intelligent. Like time was taken to figure out a good title. You know, what do you think, Phil?
Because Empire Strikes Back, The Empire Strikes Back is a good title.
Yeah, wonderful title.
Even Return of the Jedi, Revenge of the Sith, I always like, and then Attack of the Clones is just terrible.
So Peacemaker.
Have you guys seen that video of Ewan McGregor finding out the title of Star Wars Episode 2?
Paris, when he's like,
is that better? I don't know.
Where God damn it.
What's wrong?
Say something, asshole. You were going to say something.
I thought you were pausing. And they were like, oh, shoot, I got to go do something. The garbage.
What's your favorite title?
I'm kidding. I don't know. Peacemaker. That's the best title.
Best title ever.
Now, is it Peacemaker or The Peacemaker? I guess it's
Uh-huh.
Peacemaker because they don't want to conflict with that George Clooney movie with Nicole
That's
Kidman.
good. That's true. But no, yeah, sorry, we got totally off track, which is totally unlike us. This show number 4, I'm a Chode or whatever the fuck it was called. There's definitely more in them than Boba Fett. I'll give it that. That there's more meat to the Peacemaker story. I feel like James Gunn.
As in, there is one, and it's actually building towards like a mystery.
There's story in Boba Fett, just unfortunately, like with this last episode, not a lot of it.
I mean, we'll get to it, but like,
no,
man.
With Peacemaker, I like that it's a big story and it's being told quickly. I feel like there's no dead points in Peacemaker, which I've really, really enjoyed. These last 2 episodes, in my opinion, have been until mid of episode 5, but episode 4 was probably the weakest of the series so far. It meandered a bit.
One though, because I watched them together, 4 and 5 together for this show, so they kind of blended together. But didn't Vigilante go into jail in the 4th episode? Because I thought that was
episode. No, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. No, I believe
because in the 4th episode, and then the 5th episode is when they find the gorilla. So that's separate. But I was thinking about how good that was of like, oh, he's actually going into the prison and he gets out by the end of the episode, rather than it being like, I hate these things, especially in prison, is a good way to slow down the pace of a show
and do an exposition dump usually.
Yeah. So the fact that he goes in and gets out amazes me. That he's a good fighter. Like, did that surprise anybody? I'm like, oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, it's not expected.
Well, you had to have something. He's
still
alive.
Yeah, does that like? It's something for the character to do. Did it feel to you guys like? Because to me, I figured like he was the ultimate tryhard. That he wasn't even that great. So for him to take on all these people is like, just where'd that come from? Because I have a beef with fight training in movies.
I liked when they did that with he's like an expert marksman when he's taking out the butterfly people. I thought that was really fucking cool. I like the vigilante characters so far. Honestly, there are no characters that I dislike in this show. I think they're all fucking great, which is a hard thing, man.
I don't like Amanda Waller's daughter. She kind of irritates me. I liked her on Orange is the New Black. I kind of don't like her here because her shooting and I wondered if it was a plot point of speculation with the green guy, her shooting him. She did that on purpose so that they wouldn't get the information that Amanda Waller is hiding. Is that pretty much what you would agree with, Phil?
I didn't catch that at all.
Okay, so there's a big fight in episode 4 where they
I know when that happened. I mean, like, I didn't get that would be the reason why.
Because it doesn't make any sense otherwise, like him saying and I hate that because I'm thinking like, okay, like what's going to be the thing that prevents him from getting this information? And it's just so stupid. It's such a stupid thing for a character to do when somebody's talking to then be shot by the good guy. That I'm like, okay, well, this better be something, or otherwise I'm going to be pissed, because otherwise I just hate that character for being stupid.
So far, it feels like they're like this diary is going to be a MacGuffin, and I'm like, God damn it! Yeah. So far, there's too many MacGuffins, but it's the one thing I will say for the movie, or sorry, for the TV show, is it's moving along at a good click. I am enjoying it. It knows when to be funny, which is something that sounds like it should be easy, for a movie or a TV show that's got comedy in it, but is, as we've seen in a lot of shows as of late, apparently very difficult to know the tone, just to hit the fucking tone right on the nose. And this show really gets it. Like the fucking, she's like, how many people is that going to blow up? He's like, I don't know. I just made it this morning. And he throws it, and when it explodes, that shot of both of them, kind of go. I'm like, that is the right tone of this show. That is that is what I'm watching this for. And it's
my dad laughed at that.
Yeah, like James Gunn really knows how to hit the fucking tone of his.
I see a lot of people saying these same things, and to be very honest, I don't think of it as highly. I don't think of it as horrible or anything. I'm like okay with it, a little bit good, but I'm like, it's not hitting it for me, and maybe it's because I'm just not liking. It's weird. I like the Suicide Squad, so it's not the style. It's just I don't know what it
Me,
is that's just rubbing me the wrong way.
I
to
think
me,
honestly that part of
amazed that this. Oh, you go ahead.
sorry, I was going to say part of Phil's problem specifically is
I have many.
you like that abysmal shit show known as Snyderverse. The fact that you get any enjoyment out of that garbage, I think, is what would push you away from something like Peacemaker. You want your Superman to be dismal and sad. You want everybody. You apparently want
fair.
Children of Men to in a fucking in the Justice League, dismal, sad.
No, but I
boring.
just said I like Suicide Squad or the Suicide Squad. It should be. I feel like I should get the same thing at it. I think it's just that it's the Suicide Squad gave me a lot of that action I like from the movie, and then this TV show in comparison, and I get why, but it's slow.
Well, I
It has
find
to
that
be,
like the fights in it though are really good,
when they
and there's a
happen.
good number of them, which I was surprised at because, as I said, the show was on life support to me until he fights that one chick in the apartment, and I was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
That's when the show came alive for me.
Mm.
So, with that, it made me realize, because how many times has a movie come out and somebody's like, "Oh, we're gonna have a spin-off TV show of this movie," and it like never happens. This is like the first time it's like we see it. It's done, and he wrote all of the episodes, so it maintains the tone. I weirdly think the type of story and the tone is better suited to a TV show than a movie.
Oh yeah.
But I agree where it's kind of procedurally weak, just because there are kind of two things hurting it. One, James Gunn is really flip-floppy with the juvenile humor. Sometimes it's funny, and then sometimes it's like, yeah, let's kind of move
Stupid.
on. And then the sprinkling of the elements of wokeism, which is actually done really well, of like they do say some forward stuff in a non-forced way, and then other times it's just completely cringe. It's kind of weird how it's like, okay, well, he's definitely having some help like going forward on this, so it handles self-awareness better. But yeah, it's just kind of it's still juggling that tone of the previous DC stuff. So I'm like really just amazed that we got it. And but I think it does something that Cobra Kai actually does better, which is kind of manage the kind of grown-up man-child aspect with the 80s glam rock throwback and what that impacts about masculinity today, like all those weird stuff. It's weird territory for the DC universe, but which I agree kind of messes it up tonally, but it's an enjoyable series.
I'd absolutely say that DC's tone was tone deaf. The fact that anybody gave Zack Snyder full reign of this universe will be forever something that boggles my mind, especially when you look at his track record of his terrible movies. And what he did to basically do everything he could to destroy the DC universe was fascinating. And the fact that people still watch his garbage and they're like, wow, this is good. I can only imagine the other stuff those people would tell me is good.
Are you
they
guys
probably think
thinking that
Showa
they
was
should...
hilarious and Schindler's List is a great action comedy. I thank God it's going in this new direction, because the Snyderverse is garbage and deserves to be forgotten about.
I was just thinking about that, James Gunn for doing this, like delivering a movie and a TV show, both quite quickly, of reasonably good quality, that like Warner Brothers should keep them around for as long as possible. Maybe because the one guy was watching Lethal Weapon in the background, I was thinking they should sign him up for a Lethal Weapon movie, at least to write it or something, because James Gunn would make a decent Lethal Weapon movie. They should hold on to him as a talent, because he is talented and he can clearly work quickly and of a reasonable quality. So I don't know. That's what I think. I understand it's not the best show.
I would give him money to be in charge of DC altogether. Make him make him the what's his face, the
Joss Whedon, early
Favreau
Joss Whedon
or whatever.
No,
Oh
because
yeah,
there was a
John
guy. There
Favreau.
is a guy in charge of the DC universe. I can't remember his name. It's
It
not.
used to be Jeff Johns,
He
but I
should be
guess it's not
shot.
anymore.
I mean,
But it's true.
But yeah,
It's amazing that these guys needed to be told that, hey, superhero movies should be fun and should be poppy and zippy and silly.
does it
Uh,
surprise you, Rob, how quickly I guess it didn't happen quickly, but that it ultimately won out, considering how, Man of Steel and Batman versus Superman and Zack Snyder Justice League, how the positivity of like Shazam and the goofiness of Aquaman and even the lighter moments of Wonder Woman and now Suicide Squad. That's what wins out over the war between these identities of DC Universe.
for me personally, it doesn't surprise me at all because Phil is the only person I have ever physically met in person that enjoyed the Justice League. Every other
you
person
didn't
I
even
know,
watch it. You can't keep
I
saying.
watched the Justice League. I never watched the Snyder Cut, but every single person I know who watched the Justice League have been like, Jesus Christ. And all of us who watch Man of Steel were like, Jesus fucking Christ. And Batman versus Superman, oh my fucking God. Like it's a slog to get through. I've never met a person who has said, met a couple people who watched Snyder Cut, and all of them were like, it improves the film, but Jesus Christ, it's still a slog of a thing to get through. And a movie shouldn't be, unless you're watching it to be a fucking slog of a movie. A superhero movie should not be a miserable experience to go through.
Do you guys think Phil, are you excited to where this is going to go?
It's going to be something I forget. Like, to be honest, I don't care where it goes at this point. I'm watching it.
I don't think there's going to be.
I can't say I'm not enjoying it. I am enjoying it. I just wish it was somewhere higher on my love. I wish I loved it. I'm a comic book movie and TV show lover, and when it just doesn't hit for me, it just doesn't hit for me. It's kind of like Captain Soldier Metal Arm. It's a fucking bullshit show.
Well, I think it's like, to me, as far as I know, unless you're in a self-contained anomaly like Chernobyl, it is basically impossible to do a cinematic level quality at that high a level for that many episodes by one person. It just so happened that Craig Mazin was working on this for God knows how long, and he found a director in Johan Rank who is like, I'm only doing it if I direct every single episode, and a feat that would cause most people to faint from, like, if you talk to them about TV shows like Better Call Saul is another one, Mindhunter is another, and they're like, man, these episodes, they take like a month's worth of work to do. And if it's not a movie, then like to do it at that level is really impressive. So I always knew that it was never going to be of that quality. And the how do I say, not the tone, not the stakes, but the surrounding area of the story, like it's grounded a lot lower than the Suicide Squad was. So because the stakes are a lot lower, it's the show I expected it to be. You would pretty much need to hire somebody like a new face in order to bring us to because I think of the show really as a show that would be good if somebody took James Gunn's idea and ran with their own idea of it. But
I think they're really Warner Brothers is really kind of testing the waters again. They failed miserably with the Snyderverse. And now it's like, okay, it's time to kind of pivot and see where we can get some real traction, some real, I hesitate to use the term Marvel traction. And that's what this all
that's
is.
what it is.
So. Yeah, it's really kind of rejigging how everything works for them. But so far I am enjoying it. I will say that. And similar to Phil, I'm not fucking over the moon about it, but I am enjoying it. More than I thought I would. I'll give it that.
What's your guys' opinion of all the characters? Go.
I like everybody. To be honest, they similar to what you said. They every now and then they act stupid, and I think that's James Gunn's dialogue. Like some of the shit he says is dumb. Some of the shit that Hartford says is dumb. But you're like, I forgive it because there's a lot of other stuff that they say that's funny. So far there's not one character that I'm like, ugh, this person's on screen.
I find and I hate using this term, but like the weird, almost like Twitter social media like awareness, um, that kind of avatar is put on Harcourt, who doesn't seem like a character who would really care about like, the identity politics of somebody like Peacemaker. So it's like kind of weird to give that to the character, but it seems like they did that rather than give it to the other girl who is Amanda Waller's daughter. I can't remember. Does anybody know her name?
Adamoye?
Yeah, Adebuye or Adeboye, I think.
Yeah,
Attaboy,
I feel like that kind of character would get it, or the guy who turned out to be an alien should get it, or even Vigilante could get it. But it's like they knew that Vigilante would be square in the park of a likable character, so they didn't want to do it. And then they didn't want to piss people off from her, so they gave it to Harcourt because she otherwise doesn't really have much to do.
Yeah.
Outside of
but I think that'll be a turnaround.
His love interest.
Yeah.
What about you, Phil?
I
think that'll turn around. I think the reason why she's not being used as much, like how it's just like hinting, oh, they're hopefully they get together. No, I think it'll be like a turnaround. She'll be the bad guy or something like that.
I don't know. She'll start end up fucking Vigilante.
Maybe she has a butterfly.
You guys made me think of something that, like, because I was thinking with these episodes 4 and 5, it was episode 4, and I was like, okay, I haven't seen the detectives in a while. Like, what are they up to?
Yeah.
And I have to say, I really like both the character actors, especially Lachlan Monroe from Night at the Roxbury. I always think of him as Greg. And he is, of course, on Riverdale, and he's funny. But I was thinking about like the motivation to like of the one detective of like, oh, we got to get Robert Patrick out of prison because he didn't do it, even though he is a white supremacist, doesn't like register with me as like something to act on with any sort of urgency. So I wasn't like completely behind it. She was like, oh, well, we need to get him out of prison. And everybody's like, he's a white supremacist who's basically going to be a terrorist if he gets out. Yeah. So I was kind of like, it's the one time where I'm like, the right thing is maybe overrated. Like, why are you working so hard to do this? Because I thought weirdly the prison angle, which kind of didn't come up again, he was kind of building a congregation there. I'm like, oh, they're going to become a threat, and then it doesn't happen really. So it's
we'll see.
Like, did that feel like an abandoned plot angle?
Not to me. It feels like he's in prison. He's going to get out of prison or break out of prison, get back to his suit. He's going to put on his suit. He's going to try to take down Peacemaker. Peacemaker's going to have to kill his own dad, and he's going to have to come with the fact that his dad made him kill his brother. That's what I think is going to happen, but who knows? One thing I do want to point out that made me honest to God laugh is, and I never saw it before episode 4. I wonder if they've shown it, and I just it never clicked in my brain, but it is Henenlotter Video is the name of the video, is the name of the place that they set themselves up. Frank Henenlotter, of course, made some of the weirdest fantastic movies of the 80s, like Frankenhooker, and one of my favorites, Basket Case, about a guy that's got his brother who is just a little head with hands and a blob of flesh that he carries around in a basket and kills people. Frank Henenlotter is a wonderfully weird man, so I was super excited to see the video store called Henenlotter Video. That made me laugh.
And I never noticed until this. Who thought the gorilla was going to be Zod or whatever his name is?
Oh,
Grodd.
Gorilla Grodd, I think he's called.
Yeah.
I forgot about it because it's
first
at the start.
I was like, oh shit.
It's at the start. And I'm like, what the fuck are we talking about a gorilla for?
Did we see the gorilla earlier on?
Yeah.
Because because I remember it was a big thing about him escaping from the zoo, and I couldn't remember if I saw a shot of the gorilla just walking.
And I thought that was like a small thing to be like, Grodd's in this universe, blah blah blah. And then it came up again in this 5, and I'm like, okay, somehow they roped Grodd into this. And then
so is Grodd an actual comic book character? I guess
he is.
Yeah,
he's
he fights Flash.
Okay, because when you said Zod, I
I was thinking
off.
Superman. whatever. But yeah, Grodd's a great character, especially in the Flash TV show. It comes up here and there, and I thought that was going to be it, and then it turned out it's just spoiler, a gorilla with a butterfly in him. Wasn't it?
I thought it was good though that he fucking stabs him back. He's cutting him out with the chainsaw. That shit always makes me laugh.
Yeah.
So shit like that, I was enjoying myself.
I have to say, Diebeard is until that point, I found him, especially in the Suicide Squad, kind of grating, because he seems like one of those people who's supposed to be the comic relief, but they forget to give him any jokes. I remember thinking like, well, I wasn't around for you guys when you reviewed the Suicide Squad, but like comparing the backroom workers of the Suicide Squad to the ones from and How Could You Compete, Richard Jenkins and Bradley Whitford from Cabin in the Woods. Like, I thought they were going for that and failed. So it's like, oh, this guy's still on it. And in The Orange is the New Black Person, they're going to try this faux back and forth thing, but they've really worked on them as a unit to the point where I have two problems. Number one, the acceptance of Vigilante as just, we need him. He's our guy. It's like, nobody even picked him though. And then them being like, oh, there's no information on this guy. Boop, boop, boop. Oh, let me see. Like, how would they know? Like, how would they figure out who this guy is if they don't know his like real name? That bothered me because it's like, there are a few things where it's like, there's a bit of cheating on this show, but those are concessions, right? To the genre,
they're thankfully done away with pretty fast, but it's almost like, okay, we need to get to the next plot point. There's no good way to do. Fuck, let's do this.
Yeah.
But all right, that's our review of episodes 5 and 6 of Peacemaker.
4 and 5.
4 and 5. I'm sorry. How many are there?
And there's 8.
8.
Okay.
I think it ends in late February.
Nice.
It would have to. Yeah.
Of 2026.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we'll be watching it for a while until Dune Part 8 comes out.
One more thing I wanted to ask. Though.
Fuck's sake. Fine.
Then
it pauses.
Better be good.
What do you think of them already talking about a second season, though? Like, does that bother you? Well, it bothers me because it's like, I like this as a one shot.
I feel like one shots don't make enough money. They should, which is unfortunate. But yeah, especially when it comes to
leave it open and then go back to it. I don't like the pre-bake the seeds. We're already talking about season 2 before season. Like, what if the show completely goes downhill and they already greenlit it? You know,
it is what it is, and I hope season 2 brings it back.
That's a good point. All right,
watchingcomplain.com.
Say goodbye, Phil.
Goodbye, Phil. Watchingcomplain.com. Dumbgamer.com as well, and two men and a baby.com. Oh, and
Jesus Christ! I'm trying to press the stop button.
And can you taste it.com.
I'll end on there.